Welcome to Season 4 of Casting Confidential. This season arrives at a pivotal moment. Casting is now formally recognized by both the Academy Awards and the Critics' Choice Awards. Across the season, I'm joined by actors shaping today's film and television landscape, award-recognized casting directors, and industry leaders to break down how casting actually works, who gets in the room, how decisions are made, and what moves careers forward. No mythology, no guesswork, just honest conversations about the process. And if you want deeper access to this work, bonus episodes, extended conversations, and live discussions, you can join the Casting Confidential community on Patreon. This is Casting Confidential. As an actor, you already know this problem. You need to rehearse or record a self-tape, but you don't always have someone around to read with you. That's where Raffi comes in. Raffi is an app that scans your sides and lets you rehearse with realistic reader voices. There are over 60 of them, so you can run scenes on your own anytime. It also has an optional built-in teleprompter, works in multiple languages, includes customizable slates based on what casting asks for, plus a web version and its own script library called Playhouse, where you can practice scenes and share your work on social media. Whether you're rehearsing, memorizing, or recording a self-tape, Raffi gives you control over your process without having to wait on anyone else. Raffi is available on the App Store and now on Google Play and on the web. Check it out at raffi.app. That's RAFY.app. We'll see you there. Actors, you asked and we delivered. Our Casting Confidential merch is here. And yes, we put cast not casted on a shirt. You'll find this and more at castingconfidential.dashery.com. That's castingconfidential.dashery.com. Whether you're part of the casting lab or just love the craft, wear your passion proudly. Check it out now. And remember, it's always cast, never casted. Welcome back to Casting Confidential. Today we're talking about something actors don't hear enough of. You can do a great audition and still not book the job, but that does not mean the audition failed. Sometimes the actor who doesn't book is the actor we remember, the actor we bring back, the actor we mention on another project 3 months later, or 2 years later. So today we have Cheryl Louden-Kubin and Robin Carus back with us. And they're joining me to talk about how actors stay on our lists, how trust gets built, and what makes casting say. Let's bring them in again. Speaking of which, let's bring in Cheryl and Robin again. Welcome, guys. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to be here. Welcome to Casting Confidential, the original unfiltered conversation about casting. I'm Rose Rosen, and today we have this great conversation about the greatest auditions and why didn't they book. Let's talk about it a little bit. What do you think?
I think casting ultimately is such a fickle business, right? Like you go in and sometimes you have a session and they'll say, "Who do you like?" Like going into the session, and you're surprised, because the person you thought would be your number one becomes sometimes not,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that you, Rose, like you said, you build a reputation by producing good work consistently, by being on time, by being respectful, by turning your stuff in on time is very important, and having a really great attitude about it all. To be able to say, I get to do this. I mean, I say that all the time, right? Look what I get to
Right.
do.
So fun.
So fun. And for actors too, they get to play, they get to have a good time. So those types totally stand out to me, and they're memorable, and I will remember them, and keep them in mind for something else. And as I'm reading a script for something else, I'll be like, ooh, make a note of that person who I saw on that one, or who was great on that one but didn't get it because it didn't mesh with the overall puzzle, or they didn't match as a father and daughter. There's so many things that are not in the actor's control. It's important for the actors to remember that.
No,
But
absolutely.
But I think, we've talked in the past about booking the room. And I
Right.
think that whole concept of booking the room is so deeply important because the truth is, for us, it's also there's a modicum of comfort and about having this wonderful actor that we love, and maybe we've been able to give them an opportunity in the past, or maybe we haven't been able to, but they've come so close. And so, and you say, okay, let's see if this is the one, if this is the one we can book. Or, I was working on a series of commercials and I happened to be able to use the same guy in three different spots for three different campaigns. And I thought, oh my gosh, we are on a roll together. This is amazing. And that's so cool when that happens.
We do find our favorites for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it's professional, sometimes they're just undeniably great actors, or sometimes it's just how they gel with you. Like in the sea of people, there are not necessarily good people or bad people at a party, but there is only two people that I'm going to talk to. And why is that? I don't know. But it's the same with an actor that comes into my casting room, right? I see 100 people, but there's only two that strike me in a way that I want to see them again. Those numbers can be different, but the point is the point that there's camaraderie. Us, look at us. We come from all. The only thing we have in common is casting, literally.
Right. Right.
And just like, yeah. So, and what, but there's some spark between us that is undeniable. So it's the same thing when I see somebody in the room. There is that spark, there's that energy that we're exchanging that I feel like I want to do more for them. I think they're going to do well. I don't know what it is, but I think it's human nature even more so than casting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's your energy, your vibe, what you give off, how you approach, how you come into the room.
Right.
When there was a room, or how you start your audition, how you slate, you just get a feeling. You just get a feeling from somebody,
You really do.
Yeah.
Immediately, even in Zoom, even on the self tape, all of it,
Agreed. Yeah,
all
I
of it.
absolutely agree. You can see that. Absolutely. And kind of that's kind of what we look for. Then also somebody who, isn't going to go to the set and be a real pain, that's important too. We remember those people as well. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I just think by doing consistent work, and some of our software, you can go back and look at past auditions
Oh yeah.
that actor has submitted, so you can see a history, you can see a growth, or you can see a consistency. So it's a very useful tool to go
Or
back.
you can see that they play the same character every single time, no matter what you're asking for.
Yeah, or they don't, right? Or they don't. So
Yes, yes. Who knows? But yeah,
yeah.
you can see where people are. It's all right there for us. So yeah, and we think about it all. So um if somebody gives you a strong audition but doesn't book, what can still happen from your side? What kind of actions do you take? You see that audition, do you put a star on their forehead? What goes on? What do you guys do?
I think that first of all, I always note, and I make sure that I keep my notes, whether it's digitally or on paper or whatever, but I always make sure that I note what they did, how they did it, and why I liked what they did. And then
Mhm.
and then for me, because a lot of what I'm doing is still I am in the room, thank goodness, theatrically. And so the great thing is I really do get to see how people move and groove in the room, which is really important because obviously when I'm working on camera stuff, I don't get that same privilege of having the person enter the space and exit the space. So it's a little bit more of a guessing game per se. And so but I think that you sort of remember everyone's behavior and you take note of it and you say, "This is amazing, super good." And even like when you're throwing a note at somebody, I think how they take the note is so important because there are moments where, when we have the luxury of saying, like, this is the equivalent of a callback. And so now I'll need for you to take the note and run with it. And I need your tape again by X date. And when they're quick and they do the quick turnaround that you need, and there's no complaining. That's amazing.
I'm going to pause this right here. If you're loving this conversation, the rest of this episode is available exclusively on Patreon. We go deeper into the real audition stories, the hard lessons, and the unfiltered behind the scenes conversations you won't hear anywhere else. Join us at patreon.com/casting confidential to hear the full episode and get access to bonus content, extended interviews, and our private community. If you're serious about understanding how casting really works, I'll see you inside Patreon.
Podcast in television and film with Rose Rosen, CSA, and all the friends. Bringing you Casting Confidential. Casting, that's essential. Casting, so eventful. Time to tune in to close friends, chilling with Rose. We call it Casting Confidential. Get a notepad ready, grab a pen and pencil. For magic to jot down, tell a friend too. A wonderful podcast in TV and film. We call it Casting Confidential. Let's go.